Do you hear an old song and then immediately find yourself transported back to an old memory? Welcome to the club. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I've loved music my whole life. My first musical memories are of my dad's reel-to-reel tapes filled with the old 1950s and early 1960s hits. I had my first record player of my own, not a toy one, when I was 3 years old, followed shortly by my own reel-to-reel tape recorder. When I was little, it was well known on the fairgrounds that we travelled on that I loved music, and that when they replaced the latest hits on the ride, the owners would give me the old records that they weren't going to play anymore. By the time I was 10, I already had 1,000 singles of my own. As a teen, pretty much all of my money was spent on records. I steadily built my collection up over the years and recorded the records I couldn't yet buy off the radio. And as the years went by, I've built collections of records, cassettes, mini discs, CDs, and even transferred them all to MP3s. But it's not just a music collection, it's my collection of memories. So many songs take me back to times and events from my past. Days out with my mum and dad, people who would have been part of my life. Record shops that knew me so well they'd save records they'd think I'd like. Discos I went to, parties I attended, girls I went out with. The loneliness of boarding school when my records were my best friend. I could go on and on. Pretty much daily I hear a song that will take me back to a specific time and place. Over the last year or so, I collated my 2,000 favourite songs. The funny thing is that they're not chosen for their magnificence of pieces of music. The majority are chosen because they take me back to a time, to one of those memories. It means that you'll find some cheese in amongst my choices, but I don't care. The music represents a slice of my life, and that's why it's in the list. What's become obvious to me over the time is that I'm much more nostalgic now than I was then. I suppose that comes with age. I find myself thinking back to my youth and to the people that I used to be with at the time. But what has become even more obvious to me is that without the music I've listened to over the years, I probably wouldn't have the memories that I have now. The majority of memories are inextricably linked to music. Let me share with you a couple of memories that I've had recently because of songs that I've heard on the radio. But before I do, if you're enjoying this video, please hit that button. And if any of this is ringing a bell with you, then let me know some of your musical memories in the comments down below. It's 1970 and Mum and Dad are taking me and my sister Deborah from Burnham-on-Sea to Weymouth. We're going to see my Uncle Jimmy and Aunt Iris Chipperfield and my cousins James, Robert, Charles and Louise. We're on our way there. We cut across the Somerset villages and get to Yeovil. As we're skirting the outside of the town, Anne Murray's Snowbird comes on the radio. Why I remember that, I'm not sure. I remember that it's a part of the journey, by which time I always think to myself, not far to go now. The funny thing is, it's probably just over halfway there. But whenever that song comes on the radio, I'm taken back. I can smell the leather seats in the car. I can see the part of the road going uphill to the roundabout near the Quicksilver Mail pub where we turned left. I can remember the excitement of seeing my cousin soon. It's all still in my head. I'm still always 9 years old when I hear that song. 5 minutes later, I hear the familiar start to Jeff Beck's Hi Ho Silver Lining. I'm now in my late teens and it's at a showman's football dance at the Bally High in Streatham. The place is full of young showmen who had earlier in the day attended a football match between two teams comprising of showmen representing their section of the country. This would have been on this occasion London, and they would have been playing another section, most likely the West Midlands, their biggest rivals, or the Eastern Counties, Lancashire, Gloucester, Welsh. I know it wasn't Hampshire because I played for them at the time, and I hadn't played in a game that day. At the time, disco was becoming a thing. And through the course of the night, songs like Gary's Gang Keep On Dancing and Sylvester's You Make Me Feel Mighty Real would have been filling the dance floor. But the moment Hi Ho Silver Lining came on, it changed the evening. All the London attendees in the room would start singing the song at the tops of their voices. This was the first of two songs that were associated with the London football team at the time. The other was David Essex's Gonna Make You a Star. When these two records were played, the atmosphere became electric. Everybody you looked at would be singing with the biggest smiles on their faces. It was joyous. The feeling of togetherness was one that I've not felt at any other time. I could look around the room and I knew people there. I knew everyone. And it used to make me swell with pride. Even at that age, I just loved it. And that's why I love music so much. It's a major part of the fabric of my life. It's why I love oldies. So many songs hold so many memories. If you're enjoying the video and you haven't yet, I'd love it if you could click on that subscribe button and ring that bell to make sure you don't miss any of the future videos. I can think of nothing that compares as a memory jerker. Most of the time, the first few notes of a song can transport me back on a trip through time. The majority of the time it's accompanied with a memory that reminds me of just how fantastic my life has been. On other times that memory comes to mind just as easily or make me want to cry. But I wouldn't change it for the world. I really can't think of anything else that brings back memories like a song or a piece of music. And that's why I love music so much. But I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know, because music probably does exactly the same thing for you. Great, isn't it? And if you click up there, I'll tell you why I think record shops were the best shops ever.